All right, guys, we got a Custom Axis rear shock. We got a leak on the seal. We're gonna show you how to replace that seal, reservice your shock, new oil, get you back and going. First thing you want to do is probably, if you don't know what your shock preload is, go ahead and measure the spring length as you got it, so you can put it back when you go back together. You know what your length is. So it looks like we got about 1/4 inch of preload. Loosen that nut up. They give you some room to break your spring. Got a clip right up here that we got to push down. It'll let the spring come off. There we go. Just use your flathead screwdriver. Pop that clip off. And you can just bring your whole spring assembly off. Kind of want to keep it pretty clean, because when you go back together with this, you don't want any dirt or mud or anything going back in your clean oil. As you can tell, this shock is not even working. It should go all the way back up. Okay, next thing you want to do is, this thing has compressed nitrogen in it. You want to let that out. Then we can break this loose. You need a little spanner wrench. It was time for an oil change. So you can get that and pour that oil out. Okay. Now you want to get this, take and push it in. There's a little clip in here too. Usually take your fingernails, push it in, and it'll come out just like that. Wipe around that, get all that mud out of there. You're more than likely gonna have a lot of mud right in there. You have like a little air valve tool, a thread on, pull this out. Alright, that's all there is to that. now you got your little plunger tool, 1032 thread. Thread it down into your piston. You might want to dump it out again, because when you pop this piston out, oil's going to try to go everywhere. There we go. Now, clean that up, set it to the side. And then take, and you want to drain this oil out. For if it's really nasty, you probably need to rinse it out with some fresh oil. A lot of times I let it sit overnight. If it's not too bad dirty, I'll just go ahead and rinse it out and keep going. We're gonna let this sit a little while and we'll come back. All right, guys, while we're letting that drain, we're gonna take this piston off, and so we can get to the seals. Usually just try to pick this all up in one piece, set it to the side, and then I can just put it right back on like I took it off. We gotta get in there and get those seals out. You gotta be careful not to scratch that inside surface, so I use a pick usually.
Happy fall season, everybody. The party's just getting started. New Year's Rockin' Eve is turning up live with performances by 50 Cent, Chappell Roan, Charlie Puth, Demi Lovato, the Singing Voices of 100, Jordan Davis, Leon Thomas, Mariah Carey, New Kids on the Block, One Republic, Pitbull, Post Malone, and right before the ball drops, the legendary Diana Ross performs live from Times Square. Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest live tonight.
And get your rebuild kit, and you'll have all your seals. Blow this out. Put them back in there. And just make sure all of your O-rings, like these O-rings, make sure none of them have got a tear or a little chewed up spot. If they do, you got to take them out. Your bottom out bumper, mine, this one looks pretty good. I'm not going to replace it. Most of the time they'll get beat up or be missing parts, so then I'll replace them. But if it looks that good, I'll just go ahead and reuse it. I'll get these seals back in here and I'll bring you back to further install. Okay, we got those new seals put in. It's just pretty straightforward. Just put them in the way they came out. No big deal. And ready to go back on. Just be careful putting them over the threads. You don't want to cut one of those seals. It's over with. You gotta replace it again. So just be real careful with them. Now we're gonna get our shim stack. Try to put it back on here.
I need to come clean. I don't remember algebra. Are they letters? Are they numbers? Pick one algebra.
Okay.
Cottonelle leaves you so clean, you'll want to come clean about everything else.
I like to get it to this point right here where it's still loose. Take some compressed air. Pull all them shims out, clean them out before you tighten it up to 30 foot-pounds for a rear shock. I think it's 25 for a front shock. Now we're ready to go back together. Give me just a second, I'll get this out and I'll bring you guys back, put it back together. Okay, we're ready to fill it up with oil. What I like to do is hold this sort of up, pour it in here in the body, and let the oil flow back to the canister. That way you don't get any air in there, because you get air in there, it's hard to get it out, and that's the main point of doing this. Is the less air you got to purge out here in a minute, the better it is. So once you see it start coming up in the reservoir, you can go ahead and fill it up.
What does the final shot and redemption cost? Do you chase it? Does the past chase you? Maybe the bite of a transcendent season never matched its quality. Maybe the mystery of the future is too
Okay.
The rarest few find
Once you get it filled up to the top,
ending. Blue Bloods, clear expectations. An emotional roller coaster with more turns ahead for Texas, for Michigan, closure. This season is a trophy only the heart can hoist.
it's gonna get a little messy.
Players from both teams putting their heart into this one today. You're watching
All right, once you get it in there, turn it to 8, push it all the way down.
BC. It's the third meeting time between these two schools. Two of the winningest programs, top 5 in all of
Now,
football.
we'll have to work that back and forth a few times. You want to cycle it back and forth through this piston to get all the air out of it. So once you get all the air bubbles out, then we can move on to the next step. All it's going to be is me just turning this back to 1 and pulling it back out real slow. And then going back to 8, and you want to hold it up like this right here to push the air up out of there. Look down in, and you'll see bubbles come up. Just repeat this step over till you don't see any more big bubbles come up. Then we'll move on to the next step. I'll bring you back. All right, guys, we got all the air purged out. Now we're ready to put the cap back on. Put a little lube around it. Push it down in there good and straight. Make sure you don't pinch off any O-ring. And take your clip. Okay, now once you get your cap back on there, you got to put air on it, pressure on it. It needs about 100 pounds, somewhere close to that, to hold that piston in place while you work the air out of the shock. So I just take my compressed air, pick it up, just like that. Set your compression to 1. Alright, now we got our piston back cleaned up. Everything, new seals in it. Just easily work it back down in there. Just like that. Slowly push it down, let all the bubbles come out. Same procedure here. Just gonna work it up and down. Make those valves work, open up and close. Let the oil in to get all the air out. Once you get all the air out, we'll make sure we got the right amount of oil and we'll seal it up. Make sure you don't pull it up too far. There's a little hole in this shaft down close to the piston. And if air goes in that hole, you'll hear a big sucking sound, and then that just means you're going to be doing this for a lot longer. The idea is to get all the air bubbles out. You just want to push it hard, but just smooth. You don't want to push it too fast. Then on one of your strokes, take a rubber mallet, and as you're going down with it, hit it. And you see that little air bubble. You probably didn't see it, but a little air bubble comes up when you do that. It's just forcing that shock to open up. And that's just you're just trying to get every bit of air out of this thing that you can. Put a little grease on this O-ring. Okay, I believe we're about ready to seal this thing up. So what you do is pull it about to the top. Make sure you got oil all the way to the top of the threads. Pull it up and hold it still so the air doesn't get in between. Go suck in that hole that I told you about. Then you want to work this down. Trying to hold everything. And once you get it going, just go with it till you get to halfway of your threads. And I'll let it sit there a minute and bleed off. And you'll notice that that should have pushed this up as you're screwing that down. All right, the O-ring has not tried to come out. Sometimes that O-ring will try to come out and you pinch it off. That's why I like to stop right there and watch it. And we can go ahead and cinch it on down. Just a good push on it. All right, now we check and make sure the shock's working. Should come all the way up and bump up. Solid hit. Now you know your shock is working right. Just like that. You'll hear it bottom out on the bottom out, top out bumper. You'll know that that's complete. Now we've got to let the air out and put nitrogen in the canister. So let me get my nitrogen tank ready. We'll let this air out. I usually put about 200 pounds. Let the air back out. Get it out good. Here, equalize. Pull it off good clean. Alright, put your cap back on. And guys, we're almost done. All we got to do is put the spring assembly back on. And get the preload set back to where we want it. Put the clip back in. Just like that. You're going to take your spanner wrench and tighten these two nuts up on each other. And once you do that, you're done, guys. That's it. Got a shock ready to go back on your race bike. Thanks for tuning in. Like and share.